Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Forks, Washington, where we are going to be taking a flight, a training flight for me, a bit of a review flight, but we're going to be going in this Mi-2 helicopter, which is the new and first release from a developer called Digital Aeronautics. They're a global startup comprising of aviation enthusiasts, veteran simmers and real-world pilots, and the whole point, or their whole mission as it were, is to create innovative software based on a core principle of no compromises on quality. And I am really interested to see what this developer can do, because their attention to detail with the airframe, the textures, some of the animations that they put in is absolutely exquisite. There's no other way to put it. It really is very impressive indeed. And their whole point is to create study level, extremely realistic add-ons, which, let's face it, we love a bit of that. So yeah, very interested to see what they do moving forward. So the Mi-2, or Hoplite as NATO called it, is a very much a workhorse. She's not the prettiest helicopter, but she's got bags of character. And Hoplite was, of course, the heavily armed citizen soldier in ancient Greece. Hoplite being or referring to the equipment that they carried. Look at this. Look at this animation. Isn't that cool? I love that. I've got to say that is an attention to detail. That is taking the time to think it through. And look at this one as well. Just amazing. That's taking a lot of time and a lot of care to make something really realistic, and that's impressive. So yeah, the Mi-2 Hoplite, very much a workhorse. Hoplite nowadays is, I believe, is the term in Greece for an infantryman, and that's what this helicopter is. We're flying a Czech Air Force livery, because the cockpit's in English, which I can read. Funny enough, I can't read Polish or Russian, so that helps. But I'm really hoping that in these initial clips you're getting an idea of the detail that they've put into the textures and everything. Tiny little things that can make such a difference. And even things like here, where you've got the cyclic stick, you've got this leather bag at the bottom, you can see how it's flexing. When you're flying the helicopter, you're not necessarily going to notice that, but these guys have actually thought, do you know what, we're going to get that spot on, and we're going to get it perfect. So what we're going to be doing in this flight today is, as I was saying, it's kind of like a training flight for me. I was hoping to get some more time in this helicopter recently, but I haven't been able to, just been so busy. So I thought, to hell with it, we're going to make a flight anyway, and we're going to head off into the Olympic National Park in the Mi-2, a training flight for me. Let's see how it goes. So very quickly, first of all, let's explain what this is about. So this is the roadmap for the Mi-2. So at the moment we're in early access. As you can see here, if you bought the 2020 version, all this stuff is free for you. If you're new to it, if you haven't bought it yet, then you start off at €34.99. And you can see here, this is what it's giving you. So you'll notice in this video, for example, that we don't have any pilot figure or pilot avatar in the cockpit. The next planned update, you can see that's adding that pilot avatar and some other features as well, including the passengers and full walk-arounds and that kind of stuff. And then second update, you can see even more features, including basic ground maintenance, which is pretty cool, and a technical page. So really interested in looking at that. Cockpit customization, really cool. You can see the price is going up slightly if you jump in at that stage. If you've already bought it, you know you've already bought it. And then the final update is going to be €44.99. And if you wait that long, you're going to pay that higher price, but you'll have the complete finished model. So very interesting to see how this is going to develop. So just again to reiterate, we are in the early access stage here, so we're at the beginning. Things are going to change if you're watching this video in the future, but let's have some fun. Okay, so here we go, and as you can see, it is just the same as the outside. The attention to detail is just incredible in this. It's a very atmospheric cockpit. It actually almost got me thinking I should set my VR up again, just to see what that feels like. But you can see it's incredible amounts of detail, even down to something. Let me just quickly show you this, because we didn't show it in the initial sequence. We have a lever down here, and if we grab hold of that, let me get this right, we can lower and raise the seat. Just little bits of attention to detail. And while we're down here, again, the leather bag around the stick there, it just seems to be, wherever you look in this, they've really not scrimped at all in terms of getting the detail in there. But there you go, really interesting. And there's a whole heap of stuff, additional stuff that's in here as well, things to fiddle with, radios, that kind of stuff. What I'm going to do in this video is we're going to start. I'm not going to do a full check through, because I know from previous videos people aren't really interested in sitting there on the ground for ages, but we're going to run through the features anyway and get us up in the air and get flying. Right, okay, so first of all let's close the door. Just check that. There we go. Check that that has closed. Okay, so everything is cool there. And let's get the battery on. While we have got the battery on, let's do a quick check. There we go. I love the way the animation there, the spring in the needle. There you go. See it boinging around like that. Right, so we want to get things started up. So let's get the circuit breakers on. There we go. And you can hear the blinker going there. Not going to worry about anything else on there at the moment. Let's come back round here. We need to have we're going to have the radios on, but we're not going to be using them. Let's get some lighting on, because that's a good thing to have on before you start whapping things around. Quick check of these. Yep, that is all good. Let's have the fire extinguisher system on, ready to go. The EU network on battery, we don't need that. That's there if the generators fail, so I'm going to leave that as it is. We've got the battery on, that's fine, happy with that. Everything else here is fine. Let's have the converter on. I'm going to have hydraulics on. We'll leave anti-icing where it is for the time being. We are in starting mode over here, which is grand, which is where we want to be. We'll quickly check the pump. So we got number 2 pump in there, and then if I click that, we go to number 1 pump, and then I seem to remember, there we go. Yep, so that goes back to number 2. Blooming marvellous. Right, we'll stay on, excuse me. There we go. Give it another click. We'll put that to engines warming, because that's what we're going to be doing when we get going. By the way, I may well make some mistakes in this. There is a lot to learn, and I was hoping to have some more time with the Mi-2, and I haven't been able to. So I may make the odd mistake while I'm doing this. I'm not trying to say this is a tutorial. Right, well I think we're all good to go up here. Happy with that. We need to lower the rotor brake so that that's not staying on. Quick check of the physical controls. The throttle here is the opposite to what you'd think. So I need to roll it, so I'm rolling my Virpil throttle all the way closed, but as you can see the Mi-2 throttle rolls the other way, so just in case anyone's saying, oh, you had the throttle in the wrong position, that's just the way it works. It's reversed. Right, we'll have the, this is a bit of a stretch. Let me see if I can, there we go. Get the old head tracking over. There we go. Fuel shut off is open. And we should be good to go. So let's have a quick check. I'm trying to do a flow, but I'm going to check the checklist. Right, flight controls, yep. Trims neutral position, engine throttle control and test levers are neutral latch. They are. Collective pitch is down. Throttle control twist grip, we've done that. Wheel brake is on. Pneumatic system, we're not really going to see that till we get going, but we can see that we have got a charge in the pneumatic system. We've also got the brakes have got some juice to them, or some air to them. Main rotor brake lever is down, done that. Altimeter setting, I am going to leave that where it is. This is in meters, so it's a little bit different. By the way, while I'm quickly, this clock here is exquisite. Very complicated. You can wind it up, you can do all sorts. I need to spend a bit of time with it because you're meant to be able to wind it, and for some reason I can't figure out. Oh, there we go. Oh, actually that worked. That was interesting. Okay, maybe that's the direction, so potentially that's winding it. This is the first time it's done this for me. Just getting the click spot right. Let's press it in. And is it going to start? No. No, I need to spend more time with that. But that's fully modelled. It's incredible. Okay. Concentrate, Robert. Where do we get to? So we've done that, we've done that, we've done that. That's all good. That's down. Altimeter, we're going to leave that where it is. I'm going to be using the radar altimeter more than anything. Fuel quantity as required. That's all good. Electrical consumers are off apart from the ones that we actually need to start off. Not get any of those on. And got the bare minimum on over here. Annunciators, check. There we go. Yeah, that's all good. Circuit breakers required for startup are on. We've done that. Engine anti-icing system is off. Yeah, we've done that. Pitot heating is up here, is off. And 115 volts converter is on. I've done that. And hydraulic system is on. I've done that. Blimmin' amazing. Beacon light is on. Done that. Fuel pumps, check both. Yep. Fuel pump 1 is on. Let me just lock off the head tracking while I'm looking over here because it's going to drive you mad. Fuel pump 1 is on. Fire shut-off valves are open. Done that. Start to running switch set to start. Done that. Engine selector switch. Yep. Okay, we're good to start. Okay, let's go. So I'll try and shut up a bit so you can hear the metric of the engine starting, because the sounds were recorded from a real Mi-2, so you're hearing the real thing, as it were. Right, let's see if I can get this started without any drama. Hey, so selected there, and let's go. Pop up here. It was that one, wasn't it? Yep. Oh. Try the other one. No, try that one. There we go. Was expecting it to kick in a little bit earlier, hence I tried the other one, but there we go. Okay, let's have a look down here. We have oil pressure rising, which is a lovely feeling. Check up here, no issues, and we'll have the right Jenny on now. We can see the Boeing meter is boinged. Let's there we go. You can see over on the left there the voltmeter. When I set it to generator, we have a, let me do that again. Controls are a little bit. There we go, and it boings back. Marvellous. Okay, right, so now, and I need to remember, we need to get this. So these are independent throttle levers, independent to our here, but we can just use this. If I get it in the right direction, that was the wrong direction. There we go, and we want to get this up to 84 over here. It very gently. I'm going to bind that to a lever, I think. That'll make it a bit easier, and then I'm not having to look down here and look up there. Whoa, let's come back a bit. It's just finding the sweet spot. Yeah, let's stay there. So we'll go with that one, and now we are ready for engine 2. Or the first engine. Engine 1 even. I'm forgetting which helicopter I'm flying. Okay. And quick check down here, that's risen above 20. Let's go. Okay, so good start on engine 1. Let's now wind this back down. Okay, everything is good. We can pop that to the middle. We're now running. That's all good. Happy with that. I'm going to put that back down to there. For some reason it just feels like the right thing to do. Anti-icing I'm going to put to automatic. I'm going to leave that there. Let's have the left generator on. Let's now get the 36 volt on. Leave the EU where it is, because as I say, that is a that's for emergency. Let's check the left Jenny now. Come on. There we go. Boeing meter has said everything is good. Marvellous. And pressing those doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, right, that's all good. That's all good. We are started up. Now we're going to get the, let's have some heating on. I'm going to arm the wipers. I love wipers that work, so we're going to have a look at that. And we'll leave that where it is. We are going to go high, so I'm going to put that on just to be ready. And the all important, because this is a lovely little feature. Look at that. That I have seen in the real thing. It really is, I don't know, it just adds to the immersion. Do yourself a favour, get a little fan on your desk and have that switched on when that's switched on. Full on immersion. Right, let's come up here. I want the radar altimeter on. Anything else here that I need to worry about? No, I don't think so. But I'm going to flick those on and turn the radar altimeter on here. There we go. So that's all good. Doing a little self-test there. There we go. Perfecto. Okay, the more observant amongst you may have noticed there was a bit of smoke before, which got me a little bit worried and made me wonder if I'd broken it, but it's actually this. I presume this is some kind of smoke generator, but if I flick that, you can see we suddenly gets a bit smoky. That was slightly concerning and did break one's concentration for a while. Okay, let's have a look down here. Yep, that's all good. Our hydraulics are fine. We can just test that if I... There we go. See the brake coming off. That's fine. That's where it should be. I've wound the throttle up now, so we are at full beans. Need to uncage here. Anything else I need to do? I don't think so. I don't think so. But we'll do a quick check. Jenny's on. That's all good. That's all good. No warnings over here. Anti-icing on bottom to automatic. Converters are all on. This is where it should be. Cabin lighting. I'm going to pop that on, although we don't need it at the moment, but where we're going we might do, and I'm going to put these back on. I was having a fiddle when I was trying to figure out where the smoke was coming from. Okay, are we ready to fly? I think we are. Let me just have a quick check of the checklist. just to make sure that I haven't missed anything. Yeah, that's all good. Not worried about radios, and that is fine. Not going to do the engine testing, although you can do all that. It's obviously there if you want to do it. And then down here we're just going to pop in a bit of trimmage for the takeoff. There we go, -1, -1. And we're good. Okay, so as with any helicopter, but very much so with this one, it's dialing into it. I can count the number of takeoffs I've done on one hand, and every time I found that I very quickly have to dial into the helicopter. So this is a good point to repeat. This is not a tutorial. I am learning this helicopter, learning how she behaves, and all that kind of good stuff, and making mistakes along the way. But that's what this is all about. If you follow the channel, you know that. I never try and set myself up as being an expert telling you how to do it. This is me experiencing it as well, and maybe you might learn something along the way and also learn by my mistakes as well, because let's face it, that's one of the best ways to learn. In aviation, in the sim world as in the real world, we're always learning, and that's an important thing to say. By the way, a good point to say, we do have a Discord. Dreams of Wings Discord is packed with some fantastic people. We've got a helicopter section, a general aviation section, a warbird section, and now, good God, we've got a private jet section, as well as just kind of general chat, and every now and again we do group flights. So pop along to the link below and I'll see you there. But now I need to concentrate, because we're going to do some flying. So let's get that out of the way. And I'm just getting my map set up so I can see what I'm doing. I'm also just checking that everything else is running. Yep, that's good. Okay. Wind is 2 knots on the nose, so I'm going to, ready for training. Of course you can taxi on the ground in this, but that would be boring. I'm going to try and do a bit of hover taxiing, because that's good training, and then we'll take off on the runway. What could possibly go wrong, hey? Okay, so let's pull some pitch ever so gently. Let everything come up. There we go. It's a little bit wobbly. Everything's okay in the hover check. You really do, and I'm not kidding, you really do have to stay on top of this. You'll probably notice that the helicopter's wallowing around a bit. It is it's not as nimble on the controls as some other helicopters that you might have flown are. There are some suggestions in the Discord at the moment. This is the Digital Aeronautics Discord, for some changes you can make, and bearing in mind this is work in progress. But let's get going. Hover taxiing a little bit higher than I normally would, but doing that for safety because of the slightly slow response times with the controls. Now this is an interesting thing. You see those spikes in the ground? Something tells me that actually doesn't exist in real life, so I'm guessing that is some kind of weird scenery thing, but I would love to know if you are seeing the same. If you pop into Forks, which is S18, I'd love to know if you are seeing these spikes in the ground as well. I've cleared all my caches and all that kind of thing. I've deleted my scenery index to rebuild it, but I'm still seeing those spikes. So it could just be one of those funny things. I'm using the Bijan season, so I don't know if somehow it's getting confused. I would have thought so. I would think that's probably more something to do with the sim. I first noticed it yesterday. I thought I saw this mast up here, and I thought there was some kind of statue next to it, but it's not. It's just a little glitch. But it'd be interesting to see as we get further into the Olympic National Park if that actually disappears. It could just be a local thing. We will see. Anyway, so what am I doing at the moment? I'm just getting a feel for the helicopter, looking down at the instruments, checking that we're not overheating or over-egging anything. Things look okay. You can see more of those spikes down there. This is the beauty of flying helicopters. You can explore, you can go anywhere you want to go and have a good look around. Okay, let's take a look down here. What's that over there? The Olympic Wildlife Area. So this is one of the parks that's just had the update in MSFS 2024. Not sure where the update starts, but we're going to have a look around here, have a play. It's always a pleasure flying helicopters in detailed areas like this. Plenty of things to do and to explore. I'm just having a play with the trim a little bit. You can actually hear the trim actuators moving. Very kind of industrial kind of sound and movement. This does feel like a very mechanical helicopter. It actually, I don't know why, it actually reminded me of almost like an old space capsule from the beginning of space exploration, you know, with all the switches and the blinkers and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, let me just check the map, because I was going a little bit off course there. I see a river or road and I just want to follow it in a helicopter, and that's not the river we want. We want to pop over the ridge here, and we're coming down on the other side. This is what helicopters are all about. It is wonderful doing this kind of stuff. It really is. What are you flying at the moment? I'd love to know what your favourite helicopter at the moment is. There's so many of them. And they are, there's a lot of really good ones. If you follow the channel, you know the helicopters I like. This one I do find very interesting. It's a challenge. It's not an easy one to start up. I mean, once you know what to do, it's an easy one to start up, but it's quite complex in terms of all the different steps. They've built a lot of realism into it in terms of doing checks and things. So there's a lot there to get your teeth into. And it's still work in progress, which always makes it interesting. Looking at the radar altimeter there. Keep an eye on that. The instrument panel is very much alive. The movement of the needles, as you can see, is very springy, boingy, as I said, not a technical term. but it has that nice kind of realistic, alive feel to it. Let's have a quick look. No warning lights on. No, that's good. That's a good start. Just having a little play. So yeah, as I was saying before, what you will find is that there is the cyclic is not quite as agile as you might be used to in another type of helicopter. You have to. I was going to say you have to think ahead, but that's kind of the wrong way of describing it. You have to be very on the ball with it at the moment. And as I say, in their Discord, a real-world Mi-2 pilot has made some suggestions on how the inputs can be improved a little bit. So I'm sure as time goes on, they will be working on that. But at the moment, it's very much flyable. It's very much flyable, but you just have to keep on top of it. I actually don't mind that. I think anything that hones your skills. What's the old maxim? Train hard, fight easy. It's that kind of thing. Anything that hones skills and teaches you a bit more about helicopter physics and all that sort of thing isn't such a bad thing. But this helicopter is just absolutely full of character, which I think is really cool. And if everything was easy to fly, it would be boring as hell, wouldn't it? There's some more of those funny spike things. I would say there's definitely some kind of photogrammetry weirdness going on there, I would think. Coming down to the river now. This is the river we are following. It's the Ho River. H-O-H. No sniggering at the back. See some timber on the side there. I wonder if the Bijan Seasons is the terrain masking is playing a bit with the ground there. I must experiment with that. I remember it did something funny with the fantastic scenery from Clifford Designs. Sorry, I'm concentrating. Concentrating, trying to talk at the same time, never a good thing. Let's have a quick check of the instrument panel. Do we have any issues? No, everything seems to be okay. Okay, I am going to... What have we got coming up? Looks like we got some cabins coming up, so I'm going to have a look up here, see if there's somewhere we can do a little bit of landing practice on. Heck of a lot of trees, so I'm not quite so sure. Let's get the... yeah, if I point in the direction of this bend here, I have a sneaky feeling they're going to be buried in the trees. Okay, we've got something over here. Yeah, here they are. Okie dokie. Let's have a look. Where shall we... I'm going to point it over here. That's nicely into wind as well. And I'm not feeling that confident in my abilities to do any kind of spot landing at the moment in the Mi-2. So let's concentrate. interesting. Interesting. I'm guessing that was vortex ring state there. All of a sudden it started dropping, but we arrested that. We have got control back of the helicopter. Just trying to maintain a hover. And we are down. Okay. So yeah, it's a challenging one to land. Quick slurp tea there, pilot fuel. Okay, let's get going again. I think that's what kind of makes a helicopter like this interesting, is the quirks. If all the helicopters flew the same way, it would be boring. And this one definitely flies differently. As I say, you have to keep on top of it. I've also noticed with the collective, as a small movement can suddenly have an impact. So again, you have to be on top of that. Let's not bang into the trees, that would be very embarrassing. So we got some more of these rocky spikes here. It's very Lord of the Rings, isn't it? Or perhaps Game of Thrones. But I'm definitely thinking that's a glitch rather than something realistic. Check around. Everything's okay. It's all looking good. It is so good to be up in the mountains. I published a video yesterday just explaining how my real world life had gotten very busy recently, and it's meant that it's been difficult to put content out as much as I'd like to. Hopefully now getting back to normal a little bit. And I do find flying in the sim incredibly relaxing. It's my kind of version of meditation. And not having the time to be able to get into the sim has been frustrating, but hopefully, as I say, some more time now, and starting with this video, getting some content back up onto the channel again. By the way, let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see on the channel. Drop a comment below. Always interested to see, and let's face it, if you are watching this now, you're not one of the ones that have dropped out early, then your opinion matters. These spikes definitely make it interesting, if unrealistic. I wonder what that is. What do you think that is? Do you think that's photogrammetry seeing trees or something like that? Very odd, it's everywhere. It seems to be getting worse up here. In fact, the deeper we get into the national park, the worse it's getting. Wow. We have gone to a new planet. Certainly wouldn't want to try and attempt an auto-rotation down to that lot. Okay, let's have a play with something. Now, first thing I should say is this is even trimmed. This helicopter, just going to do a bit more trimming. I want to show you, and I want to see, because I've not actually seen it yet, what the rain looks like with the wipers. So let's quickly do that. Let's have come on. Let's have some rain. Okay, I will leave it there and I'll wait till we get to, I'll fly into the rain here and then we can have a look at it. Get the old wipers on. Quite bizarre, those spikes, aren't they? Here we go. So, interestingly, heading into the rain, and Viz is dropping, which is always fun when you're around mountains, but we should hit the rain soon. There we go. Starting to appear on the windscreen. See if I can get an angle where it's a bit more obvious. There we go. Okay, so we'll get wipers into start, and you can see, if I can get a good angle, it is actually clearing it, which is pretty cool. Let's see if I can. There we go. You can get a better angle if you look up at the blue of the sky there. You can see it's actually clearing it. And then we've got. Let's concentrate on flying, please, Rob. Okay, let's. One sec. Trying to get the click spot. Stay away from the mountain. Speed 1. It's the only thing I find with some of these controls is the click spot is very fiddly. There we go. So you have to get the click spot just right. But that's cool. I love the fact that it's got wipers that actually work. It's one of my frustrations. Come on. This is what I'm talking about. There we go. No, that should be off. Okay. One of my frustrations in the H145 reset. There we go. One of my frustrations in the H145 is that the wipers don't work, which is such a shame. It's such a beautiful helicopter. Okay, so let's get back down. We've climbed while I was messing around with that. Check speed. Everything. We've got speed in kilometers per hour. The altimeter is in meters, so it's all good fun. But here is the majesty of Mount Olympus. I remember flying past here in P3D in the Spitfire when I was doing the Silver Spitfire route, and it was quite something even there. But in this sim, where the scenery is so realistic, it's pretty good. Okay, let's get some more forward speed on. We need to climb as well. We're going up into the lumpy bumpies. Going to trim it a little bit more. Trim is your friend. I would certainly say trim will help in this helicopter. I'm using trim more in this helicopter than I have in any other. That noise you can hear is me just playing with the trim a little bit. Do move that fan. Come back over here. There we go. It's hot today. Hot here in the UK, so having that fan there, if anything, even though it's not doing anything, might make me feel a bit cooler, as my room here slowly fills up with hot air from my rig. It's incredible how hot my little sim room gets. If I ever win the lottery, I'm going to have a sim room with air conditioning in it. Just fly along this ridge. Ah, that's interesting. Interesting. And pull back something. I wonder if it was turbulence. I wonder if it was an updraft, something like that. All of a sudden, I was having to really push forward on the cyclic to try and maintain attitude. And it slowly came in and then it slowly went out as we just came over that ridge there. That was interesting. And again, pushing forward on the stick now and then coming back a bit. See that? Yeah, wow, that's interesting. Isn't this beautiful up here? I am going to fly just onto the other side of the peak because I'm wondering if the new national park scenery, and again with the stick having to push forward, stick is now fully forward. And coming back again. Just to try and maintain that attitude. And fully forward again. Okay, I'm just going to adjust the trim slightly. I wonder if something funny is going on there. But we will get to the top. God, this looks so much better in the sim than it did in P3D. Now, I have no idea if there's somewhere we can land on the top of here, but it would be rude not to come all this way and not check it out, so we will have a look. Not sure we should be seeing trees up here. I would imagine we are very much above the tree line, but there you go. Watching the talk. Don't want to overdo it. It is a good old workhorse, this helicopter, isn't it? Wow. Okay, don't get carried away by the scenery. Concentrate on flying. Hard not to though, isn't it beautiful? Oh, what have we got here? Wind 4 knots on the nose. Yeah, it's probably a little bit too much of a slope there to try and do anything silly there. Look at that glacier. Wow, that's worth a look. Quite stunning. Certainly a lot of detail here. I do wonder, I am going to go down to the other side because I do wonder if this is the side that perhaps they've modelled. I know on the map the Olympic National Park is kind of marked on the other side that we came from, so perhaps all the work has been put into there. Wow, that's a long way down, isn't it? No, I can see the spikiness over here as well, but the detail on the mountain is lovely. That's a nice looking little lake there. I wonder how, is there somewhere to land around there? Quite possibly. It's worth a look. And nicely into wind as well. Okay, let's come round. So I'm going to come round inside this ridge. Some really nice detail here. I wonder. Just adjusting trim. Walking the helicopter in just to see, get a closer look at the lay of the land here. Visibility obscured a little bit now, so it's a little bit harder. That doesn't look very flat. This is all good practice, so let's take a look down there. Have to pull the pitch as the speed comes off. A lot of right pedal, wow. Okay. Let's just come out. Not happy with that, so I'm going to just huge amount of right pedal on now. That was interesting. This is why areas like this are great for training, because apart from the fact that they're very pretty, it's a good way of getting to know the helicopter, any helicopter. Let's have another look. So what happened there was, as I got lower, I was having to suddenly really pull on the collective, and we obviously had very little, if any, transitional lift, and then also enormous amounts of right pedal because of the amount of collective I was putting in. Now a lot of that could be due to altitude, because we are quite high up and the air is thin. Okay, let's get control because it's a little bit sluggish. Okay, we're down. So that's really interesting for me. Really interesting way of learning how the helicopter behaves. You could fly circuits at an airfield, but I think it's always a good thing to give yourself a challenging environment to fly around in, and then it just kind of feels like you learn a lot more from it. Right, can we have the fan back here, please? Come on, whoever that is keeps moving it. Okay, so there you go. What else? Oh, let me show you the night lighting. Isn't that lovely? It's so atmospheric. You imagine flying out at night, weather not particularly brilliant, and this is your cockpit. And then of course also we have the dome light, and also we have some lighting in the back, and we have duty lighting. So you see it's a little bit it's a blue light, a little bit dimmer, and probably better for the night vision, I would think, although I would imagine that to be red, but there you go. So there is a ton of stuff going on here. Digital Aeronautics have certainly created something that I think is very interesting. I think it's a challenge. It's not your normal helicopter by any stretch of the imagination, and they are so on the ball with it. They are doing so much work. Listen to that. Oh, heaven. They are doing so much work to update it, to carry on with the 2024 early access program, to add new features, and they've got input from real world pilots, so that is just wonderful. Anyway, let me just close the door, then I can. It is quite loud, isn't it? Love it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the flight as much as I did. There will be more flights in the Mi-2 on the channel. That's interesting. I wonder if that was just the wind. It is? Look at that. I'm not touching it. That is the wind blowing it open slightly because it's not... There we go. That's now closed properly. Because the door wasn't closed properly, that was just blowing open a little bit. I love that stuff. This is the kind of stuff that's so cool. Where you find something by accident that you didn't know was there. And again, the attention to detail, digital aeronautics. Guys, the amount of detail you put into this is just phenomenal. It really is. And hats off to you, and I cannot wait to see what else you come out with in the future. It's going to be wonderful. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget the Discord, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.